From a dynamic duo who turned into bitter enemies, to a retired basketball legend relentlessly going after a younger player, these are the biggest NBA player feuds of all time revealed.
Well, we saw it begin to unfold on Sunday night without Ayton there.
It goes without saying that any sport comes with intense feuds and rivalries. While the likes of boxing and MMA see the sportsmen sometimes grow to hate each other through bitter trash talk, sports like basketball also come with their fair share of rivalries. After all, these driven athletes are born with a natural competitive streak, and with such levels of competition, a feud can easily be ignited. While basketball is a team effort, that doesn't mean that the players always see eye to eye. Rivalry between teams is, of course, totally common, but sometimes even players on the same team can find themselves feuding with each other. When it comes to feuds in the NBA, of course, we have to start with the biggest name that basketball has ever seen, Michael Jordan. There's no question that the great MJ has gone down in history as one of the greatest players to ever grace the court, and he wouldn't be seen in such a glorious light if he hadn't been consistently tested by fellow all-stars and legends in the NBA. Jordan had his fair share of rivalries throughout his career in the NBA. However, the Chicago Bulls alum isn't the only huge superstar player to have a rival that drove them to be better. So let's dive in and take a look back in NBA history to break down some of the biggest feuds of all time.
They just threw him out. They just threw him out because TJ Warren.
To kick off, we can't not talk about Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. These two dynamic players were once two of the greatest duos in the NBA after playing 8 straight seasons together between 2008 and 2016. However, their relationship felt strained, and they quickly became foes. When Kevin Durant decided to depart the Oklahoma City Thunder to go to Golden State, he did so via text in 2016. And as you can guess, this caused quite a stir after he told his former teammates that he would stay. And subsequently, this sparked the bitter rivalry between Westbrook and Durant that would see them go through some intense battles on the court. Whenever they would match up, the two would engage in shoving matches, and on a few occasions, they nearly came to blows before they were broken up. Fortunately, this bitter rivalry never got out of hand, as there was lack of postseason meetings between their two opposing squads. But as of April 2023, Westbrook is insistent that the feud is finally over, telling reporters, "I think people think there's some beef or something. There's no beef. It's a good narrative for the media, but there's no beef." He also went on to say that he has nothing but respect for Durant and the things he's done with his career. While it's nice that the two have buried the hatchet, these two next beefers never really got the chance to do so. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal had some serious tension on and off the court when they played for the Lakers. It's hard to believe that these two teammates couldn't get along despite playing for the same team, but sometimes people just clash. Bryant and Shaq played together on the Los Angeles Lakers for a number of years, and they were both two of the main reasons the Lakers won 3 consecutive championships from 2000 to 2002. However, despite their resounding success on the court, Bryant and Shaq had a strained relation off the court. Across a number of interviews, both men have spoken about the infamous tension between them, with Bryant saying that O'Neal was lazy.
Yeah, bro, listen, me and Shaq sit down all the time, and I say, dude, if you're lazy, was in shape.
And O'Neal saying that Bryant was selfish. The two NBA legends eventually parted ways, with O'Neal being traded to the Miami Heat in 2004 and Bryant continuing to play for the Lakers. After Bryant's untimely death in January 2020, Shaq was forced to reconsider the bitter feud, and he became riddled with regret.
And I think a lot of times we take stuff for granted. Like, I don't talk to you guys as much as I need to. The fact that we're not going to be able to.
Bryant and his daughter Gianna sadly lost their lives in the 2020 Calabasas helicopter crash, along with 8 others. The tragic deaths shook the basketball world to its core, and the whole world felt the heartache of the tragedy. Prior to Bryant's death, O'Neal and Bryant had feuded for over a decade. They were at the forefront of countless media headlines, and the intense, bitter rivalry felt like it was never going to go away. Thankfully, in the end, it slowly started to fizzle out. The two stars eventually tried to make things right in a one-on-one players-only interview.
None of that. None of that.
Hold on, we gotta take a picture. Give him 5 and give me 4.
But to many basketball fans and pundits, this patch-up felt a little forced, and many assumed that it was all for the cameras. O'Neal has since stated that he would have done things much differently if he had another chance. He explained how he wished he would have spoken to Bryant more often, allowing the two to totally make amends for all of their quarrels. When talking with People magazine, O'Neal released a heartfelt statement saying, "I'll never get to see Kobe again, in real life, forever, and I just should have called. He should have called. We both should have called." He went on to say that making up was difficult, as they were both so busy with work, and the opportunity to make amends just kind of slipped away. But this heartbreaking feud should serve as a source of motivation for other NBA stars who are currently beefing to just let things go and make up. Because let's face it, life's too darn short. However, while Shaq had a change of heart about Bryant, that doesn't mean he hasn't beefed with other NBA stars since. Dwight Howard is an American NBA star who currently plays for the Taiwan Leopards. He's a center who's known for his athleticism and defensive skills.
With 4.5 to go in the third and lost the game. Durant blocked by Howard. Westbrook right there. He misses and
Howard was drafted first overall by the Orlando Magic in 2004 and quickly established himself as one of the top players in the league. He's an 8-time NBA All-Star and has won the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award 3 times. But as popular as he is, Dwight Howard is not well liked by basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq's career was nearing the end, just as Howard's was getting going. So how exactly did they develop a beef? Well, let us fill you in. Funnily enough, the feud between these two players started when Howard wore a Superman costume at the 2008 dunk contest. Seeing as Shaq had used this nickname in the past, he couldn't help but feel affronted. This set up a back and forth between the two men when Shaq spoke out about how he felt disrespected, and this intense feud isn't easing off. Shaq and Howard still have an enmity today. As of 2023, O'Neal and Howard have been firing shots at each other for nearly 15 years, and it seems that Shaq is the one who is dragging the rivalry out, taking every chance he can to make fun of Howard. O'Neal has a long track record of criticizing Howard. For example, O'Neal softened Howard's impressive stats for a game where he scored 38 points, 25 rebounds, and 9 assists. On his own podcast, Shaq talked about Howard's performance, saying he's supposed to have 30 points playing against dudes 5'8". He then continued to poke fun at the league that Howard plays in, saying, "This league reminds me of the Lifetime Fitness League every Saturday when I go work out on Saturday." But of course, Howard took his chance to fire back some shots in an Instagram Live video saying, "Stop hating basketball in Taiwan." He then went on to stick up for his teammates, as Shaq didn't only disrespect Howard, he disrespected his entire team. Howard said, "Do not disrespect my teammates in this league and these people in Taiwan like that. That is highly disrespectful and that is hating, and you're too old to be hating." And it's fair to say that Howard's fireback will only intensify the feud even further, and we'll likely see more back and forth in the future. So, from a dynamic duo who turned into bitter enemies to a retired basketball legend relentlessly going after a younger player, these were the biggest NBA player feuds of all time revealed.